Hey guys, welcome to another video of Scent Saga. My name is Deep, and in this video I basically wanted to talk about some office fragrances for the summers as well as the monsoons coming from Indian houses which are under the budget of 1000 rupees. Now these perfumes that I'm going to recommend today are basically kind of hidden gems because a lot of people usually don't talk about it. Like I saw a couple of videos as well from my end when I was doing my research trying to figure out what others are recommending when it comes to office fragrances under 1000 rupees, and I saw a lot of these perfumes are not really talked about while they're actually good. So in this video I'm just going to talk about them so that they do also get their fair share of popularity and visibility in case you get a chance to try them out. But before I move forward with the recommendation list, I do want to tell you something. How did I come to this conclusion about recommending this 7 or 8 perfumes that I'm talking about today? Well, the first criteria that I had in my mind was when it comes to the smell quality, they need to be something which is not offensive or which is kind of challenging. They need to be mass pleasing, but at the same time, they should fit the occasion, which is office. Second, the perfume should not be like beast mode projecting perfume or a room filler perfume, because until and unless you are the CEO of the company or you're a big shot in the company, if you are using a perfume which is kind of, projecting every single wear and you enter the room and everybody, is noticing you, that can be deemed as offensive in some office culture or workplaces. And that is the reason I don't want to recommend you any perfume that is kind of beast mode and just announces when you're in. And the third thing that I had in my mind while I was recommending these perfumes were the longevity. Minimum, it should last 4 to 5 hours when applied on the clothes. And if it's more, then it's better. Okay. And the blend quality also needed to be nice. So with all those parameters in, I am recommending today with you some of the perfumes that I feel are absolutely bangers when it comes to the value for money aspect, coming at a price range of less than 1000 rupees from Indian houses for the office for summers and monsoon. So the first perfume that I am going to recommend you is from the house of Fusion. This is an Indian brand, and the owner of this brand is also a reviewer, a YouTuber known by the name of Rizwan, and the channel name is Perfume Talks. They are selling their perfumes from a website called Fusion by Rizwan. Their house is a very simple logic. They want to mix and incorporate different designer fragrance DNA to come up with their own inspired version that they call it. So Ignite is basically something that is inspired by Dior Sauvage, but it's not exactly Dior Sauvage. It has got the elements of it, and then there is something else. This is a very budget friendly, good, it's not synthetic at all, a good perfume blend with some elements of Dior Sauvage, and then it has got its own unique proposition where the spiciness is a little bit mellowed, the sweetness is a little bit amped up, it has got a lot of ambroxan, so that it projects properly, and this is a very inoffensive smell, perfect for the office with a good amount of projection. It lasts for around 6 hours when applied on the clothes, and the projection was around 1 hour of decent projection, something that I feel is a very good daily driver perfume, because if you're bored by the Dior Sauvage DNA, this kind of is a fresh take on it, and I kind of loved it, and that is the reason I am recommending this, which is Ignite, coming from the house of Fusion Perfumes, Fusion by Rizwan. Okay. The second perfume that I would like to recommend over here, I have got a few, let's see. This is Arabian Aroma's CK1. If you are not aware, CK or Calvin Klein has got a perfume which comes by the name of One. That's a citrusy floral woody perfume, and Arabian Aroma's CK1 kind of incorporates that same DNA but at a much lesser cost. The OG CK1 sells for around 2800 to 3000 rupees. Not that super expensive, but this perfume sells for around 700 for a 50 ml, almost half the price of what CK1 is offering. And one of the complaints that I had with CK1 was the overall performance, because even after spending like 3000 rupees on a perfume, the overall longevity was barely around 4 to 5 hours when I applied it on my clothes as well as skin. And also the projection on that one was a bit mellowed and very soft. This, on the other hand, projects really well. for 40 minutes to 50 minutes. This does project properly, and the overall longevity of this perfume is also like 5 to 6 hours, very similar to the OG, but blend quality is not going to be as refined as CK1, but also this is not something to complain about. Okay, I have not seen many reviewers talk about this perfume, and that is the reason when I used it, I was like, this needs to get highlighted in some of my videos, and today I'm highlighting this one. This is CK1 by Arabian Aroma. In the initial opening spray, this will have some alcoholic blast, a little bit of alcoholic blast, and there is some syntheticness to the smell as well, which is quite evident when you're getting a budget perfume. But the alcoholic blast settles within the first 5 minutes, and after that I don't think there is any problem. The projection on this one is not beast mode, but very moderate, but it's not soft, it's moderate, but in a very pleasing way, and the smell quality is also nice. In cloning the CK1 smell profile, I say that it's done very neatly, although I don't think it's like head-to-head 1:1 clone, but I feel that this is very nearby to the OG CK1, and that is the reason Arabian Aroma CK1 gets highlighted or featured in today's video. The third perfume that I want to talk about is this one. This is Menworks Myself. Now they have used myself, okay, MYSLV. The OG one, if you don't know, is basically YSL's myself. MYSLF, this is MYSLV. So it's kind of inspired by that DNA, but then again, it's not 100% head-to-head clone of that particular perfume, but kind of draws inspiration from that perfume itself. Now this perfume sells for only $9.99 for a 50 ml, and when I checked their website, they also have some offers running. But the best thing that I loved about the perfume is the opening and the blend quality. Like if you apply it, I'm pretty sure that you will be amazed by how good the blend quality is. I mean, almost zero alcoholic blast, because there is some, but it's very minute, barely noticeable, and the blend quality is actually very nice. The bottle is kind of minimalistic, and the brand is pretty new. I have recently seen this being highlighted by a few reviewers, and that is the reason I tried my hands on with it, and I'm pleasantly surprised by this particular perfume. Myself or myself, okay, it has got an orangey note at the top with a little bit of bergamot. It has got some musk, patchouli at the base, and although it does not incorporate like 100% of that YSL myself DNA, but it's almost there as well. And inoffensive perfume. The projection on this one is a bit softer than the previous two that I talked about. It's around 40 minutes to 50 minutes of moderate projection, and the overall longevity of this perfume is around 4 to 5 hours, which is a bit lesser than the previous two that I talked about. But in terms of the smell, if you love that DNA, I think you will just love this perfume out. And I almost 2 to 3 days back, while I'm shooting this video, I basically wore this to my office, and I got a few compliments from my colleagues that I'm smelling very nice, and the perfume is not something that they have smelled on me previously, and that is the reason I kind of added this in today's list, which is Menworks Myself. The next perfume that I want to talk about comes from the house of Ababal, which is Dawn. Not Shah Rukh Khan's Dawn, but Dawn, like sunrise, sunset kind of that dawn. Okay, so basically this is an inspired perfume. The inspiration is taken from a perfume released in I think 1994 called Isse Miyake Law de Isse. Okay, this has got that same yuzu lemon that they call. I mean, the lemon over here that has been used is a bit different. It has got a very tangy and sweet smell. Dawn kind of incorporates that as well, but at the same time, it's not a head-to-head clone again. It's kind of taken inspiration from that house, but then they have added their own mix into it. It has got some good amount of florals in it, as well as, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but this perfume is really very refreshing. Okay, and it has got an added hint of sweetness into it. For somebody who's into sweet perfumes but don't like something super sweet, but you also want something which is refreshing, then Dawn from the house of Ababal is a really good option for you. This perfume sells for $9.99 for a 50 ml, and the overall longevity and projection is also very decent. The perfume projects moderately for 50 minutes to an hour, and the overall longevity of this perfume is around 5 hours to 6 hours when applied on the clothes. I would say it leans more towards 5 hours. The last 1 hour is kind of a big stretch, and the perfume kind of gets very soft, close to the skin in the last hour. But the blend quality is so good that even if you have to overspray it, I think if you have ever loved that smell of Isemiyaki, Lode Ise, or you love the smell of lemon with a hint of sweetness, I think you will love this perfume. And it's perfectly fine for usage in the office. That is what I feel. The next perfume that I want to recommend is from the house of Kzan. That's Hazy Reflection. This was a perfume that I reviewed almost in the month of February when the company basically sent it out to me. Now, at that point in time, what I complained about this perfume was the projection and longevity, because I felt that the projection was a bit softer and the longevity, although was good, it felt like it could have been a bit better. But after this perfume sat with me for almost a month, where this perfume got properly macerated, I started using it, and my God, I was so impressed by the way the perfume changed, where the projection became better and the overall longevity also kind of, got better with time. Now, what I basically get is around 15 minutes to an hour of soft to moderate projection, which is very decent and which is very safe for the office. And the overall longevity is around 6 hours now as well. And this perfume is super safe option to wear in the office. If you are a guy who loves floral notes but want something masculine, in that case this perfume is really for you. The bottle is minimalistic, even the entire website, design flow, language, everything is pretty minimalistic, but the perfume quality is top notch. This has got the zero alcoholic blast, highly well blended perfume, and this is not a clone 20 perfume. If you're applying this, you will be applying something which is unique, has its own unique character, and it has got some different elements. If you have ever smelled marigold, which is basically genda phool, it has got that smell. Then it has got a bit of earthy vetiver, a bit of patchouli, and this is kind of a floral earthy perfume. And Hazy Reflection is, according to me, one of the safest perfume that you can wear to the office. But do have this in mind, this is a floral based perfume. So if you're not into florals, the other perfumes that I recommended right now are better option than this. The last perfumes I would say that I would like to recommend over here are two, but let me start off with the first, which is basically this one. This is Ababal's Monte Rosa. Now, here's the thing. I actually saw a lot of videos where, the reviewers are going gaga over one particular perfume, which is Ahmed Calf. I don't hate that perfume, but I feel that perfume is, very overrated. One of the strongest point of that perfume is the overall projection and longevity. And for that reason, it gets all the love that it gets, because the smell quality is nothing unique, okay? If you have ever smelled Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, okay, leave that. If you have ever smelled Ajmal Blue, that's the kind of smell that Ahmed Calf has. So it's nothing unique, but at the same time, because for 1900 to 2200 rupees, the perfume gives something that a lot of perfume houses don't, which is the performance. Now that's a very beast mode projecting perfume, okay? Like 4 sprays are enough for you for an entire day, but with great power comes great responsibility, kind of a thing, which basically projects so much so that everybody around you will be able to notice the perfume, and it's a room filler. For me, that's not my perfume language. I want something which smells nice, but I don't want something that just fills the room and chokes everybody out. I feel that Calf does that to me and people around me, and that is the reason I usually don't like Calf anymore. But if you love that DNA, and you want something a bit above that DNA, which has got a bit of depth into it, then I think Ababal's Monte Rosa is really top notch. Over here, what really happens is it has got that same DNA, but then the lemons or the citruses are amped up over here. The florals are kind of well balanced over here, and also Calf is known for a very detergenty vibe that it has in the perfume. It has the detergenty vibe, but it's not so much so that you feel like that you are out of a laundry, okay? This has got more depth. This is a bit more well-charactered perfume in my opinion. And this perfume also sells for $9.99 for a 50 ml. The blend quality on this is way above when it comes to Calf. I feel that this is a much more well-blended perfume. But in terms of the overall longevity and projection, this does not come near to Calf, okay? This projects for around an hour, and the overall longevity is like 5 to 6 hours when applied on the clothes. But if I were to buy a perfume which has the DNA but has got some depth on top of it, does not offend anybody around me or choke anybody around me, for that reason I would have went with Ababal's Monte Rosa. But in case you still want to go for that Ahmed Al-Maghribi Calf DNA, but you don't want to spend like 1900 to 2200 on 100 ml of perfume, then I feel that you should get this one. This is Al-Ahmed Calf. So Ahmed Al-Maghribi Calf is basically a clone to Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. Al-Ahmed Calf is basically a clone to Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Calf. So basically this is a clone of a clone. But this perfume sells for around $9.99 for 100 ml. And when I first saw this perfume, I was very intrigued. Okay, I saw a few ads running on Facebook or Instagram, I forgot. And the guy was telling that this is their take on Calf. And I was like, for $9.99 you're giving Calf and they're selling for 1900 to 2000. So let me just try it out and see what is the overall difference. I ordered it and I was pleasantly happy by this perfume because first, this also does not project like a nuclear mode projecting perfume. Okay, this projects very strong, lasts long. Okay, around 7 hours this stayed on my clothes. The projection for almost 1 hour, but this was not as nuclear as Calf, and this was more subtle when it came to, you know, the DNA of Calf. And this also has its own blend where I feel that the laundry like or the detergenty vibe is a bit lesser. But at the same time, this is very much in the same ballpark and same DNA as Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Calf. The pricing on this one is only $9.99 for 100 ml. That makes it almost half the price of Calf. And for that reason, if I have to recommend somebody to go with that Calf DNA, I would say Al-Ahmed Calf is a better option in my eyes. Okay. Now, the disclaimer that I forgot to add at the starting of the video is this is not a sponsored video. I don't do paid promotions, and every perfume that I have recommended over here are used by me. Nobody has paid me a single money to talk about them. Okay. What I basically want you to do is go ahead, try any of these perfumes out, or in case you already did, I want you to go ahead, share your experience with me, what you felt regarding the perfume, and in case this list was something that you enjoyed, and if you have got any other suggestions for me to cover in terms of videos, do let me know. I'll try my best to get that done. So with that, this is Deep signing out. I'll see you on the next one very soon. Bye-bye.